Alright guys, welcome back to the room. I am your host K Classic. Today I got a special guest, Yogi. Thank you so much, my brother, for coming.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Appreciate it. So Yogi, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you for the people that don't know you?
Well, my name is Yogi. My Instagram is the Yogi Bear, TheYogiBear. I'm a partner at GMN, which is Global Marketing Network, which is on my hat as well. Overall, best way to describe me, I'm an entrepreneur. That's the best way to actually describe me. We wear many hats, so to describe what I do in one job is like, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because we do nightclub events, we do general marketing for different companies, we do different types of events, food events, concerts, a couple different things. So,
and what got you into that industry? Like, what was the beginning that started all of that?
Well, it's funny because when I got asked that question, it's people usually have the same, like usually have like, I guess like a scripted answer. They usually say like, girls, da da da, and all those things, and it was weird for me because I suffered from like low self-esteem when I was younger. I developed through it, and what actually helped me out was getting into this kind of industry, into like the nightclub industry and stuff. So when I first started, my friend of mine, actually his name is Eddie, he was actually promoted too with Five Borough. Okay. You know him as Lloyd. He told, like, I was interested in it because he did it. He told me I could make some extra money and all these things, but I always used it as I can break out of this low self-esteem thing that I have and get to like intertwine with a couple more different people and everything. So when he presented me that idea, he actually put me with someone else, and then he put me with someone else, and I ended up being Team Mills with Manny Mills, DJ Manny Mills.
Yeah.
So I actually started with them. My first party was Tropical. I was a sub promoter.
That was throwback.
Yeah,
let's take it back now.
I didn't know anything I was doing. That's when BBM was BBM. You know what I'm saying? So that's how pretty much I started. So like it helped me like with my self-esteem issues, and then through that I'm at where I'm at now.
You progressed, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like that may not know you from maybe in the past, but know you now for what you're doing now, which is called Brunchosoooo.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say for the people like now coming into like getting to know you now compared to what they knew before? As in like, do you still stand the same Yogi, or have you like evolved? You're like a whole different person now.
I'm a mix. Reason why it's funny. So like first you have to understand where Yogi came from, in the sense of I wanted to, when that name first came about. First I want to start by saying when I first came about, I hated that name. I felt like it was so stupid. I'm like, Yogi, kind of soft ass big dude nigga named Yogi. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like honestly against it. But the way it came about is that I wanted a nickname. Yeah. So but I was always a strong believer I needed to deserve it. So Yogi Bear is known as someone he's at the end of the day he's a bear. So he's aggressive. But he's also tender. He's where he can be loud. He can also be quiet. But bears are always about but not only themselves, but their people. You know what I'm saying? And like Yogi is the perfect name for me because I'm big, funny, temperamented, but I'm also passionate, which infuses with everything that's going on. So like it was just interesting. So going into what I am now, I'm more out there, I'm more abrupt, but I've always been like that, but to myself and to my close-knit friends. So that's why I say it's a mixture of both. I was very in tune with myself, but with myself. Now I'm in tune with myself in the outer public, and I honestly stopped giving a fuck about what people think about me.
Amen, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm like, if you follow me on Instagram, if you know me in person or everything, I mean you know me for a bit. I've always been a different character in my own respect, in like my own respective lane, but I'm just myself. You know what I'm saying? The moment I stopped caring about what people thought about me is the moment I became me. Which is weird to say, you know what I'm saying?
No, not at all. I mean, like I told you before in the past, but yeah, you carry yourself with a certain character that's distinctive for most people. I could definitely say. And I know I mentioned it before, but can you elaborate for the folks that may not know or that know now, Brunchosoooo? How did that get started?
So I always have a fun explanation for this because, and it just, to whoever's watching it, it makes perfect sense. And don't think I'm promoting anything or anything like that. but I'm a fat kid that smokes weed that loves food. That's like that's like the best way for me to like explain the overall thing. And the overall event is what we do is like we take different food items as far as brunches, like different brunch food items, even like just food items in general that you can eat during that time. So breakfast, lunch, and things like that, which makes brunch. And we make it into our own way. So we do like as far as like a chicken and waffle, and I always go back to chicken and waffle because that's
the go-to plate.
Yeah, that's like a staple in brunches. You know what I'm saying? And if you mess up a chicken and waffle, you're gonna hear it.
that's facts, man.
So like one of the first things we did was a red velvet chicken and waffle, red velvet Belgian waffle with white chocolate chips and bacon inside the actual waffle, and then covered with a honey garlic sauce on the chicken.
You guys are probably watery just hearing from this, but
yeah, my mouth watered. It was crazy.
It's really good.
that was honestly one of that was honestly the staple that was like, yeah, I can do this. So and then I hooked up with my boy Stanley, which is a city chef. Knew that dude for several years, and I actually got it. The reason basically Brunchoso and that connected was my love for cooking since I was young. A lot of people don't know this, but when I first when I first started, but when I like in the early ages of my being, I wanted to be a chef. So, and that came through the love of watching my mother cook, and she never cooked traditional. She never she would cook that rice, beans, and all that stuff, but she would learn how to make Indian food. She would learn how to make Arabic food. She would learn how to make Chinese. She would learn how to make and totally different things.
Experimental. With
she was experimental, but then she also was a chef in her own right because she would cook for soup kitchens. She would cook for big events of thousands of people, and she would do all these things, and I'll watch her do it. You know what I'm saying? So. And I'm a mama's boy at the end of the day. Like that was my heart. That's like that's the person who raised me. I didn't have a father growing up. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't really there for me. So to have someone like that, of course, is gonna influence on things that I love. So time back into now, I was like, this happened for a reason. Stanley City Chef offered me an internship for a reason. So this is something. I posted, and I was like, let me just see if it's something, just to reassure myself. Me and him posted a pic on Instagram and was like, yo, we're cooking something up. And that picture got more likes than I've ever had before. And it was like 500. And I've never really gotten that kind of like attention before as far as that. So I was like, we might have something. And right there, my mind started thinking.
The picture you posted, like, was this a plate or what was it exactly?
No, it wasn't even a plate. It was just me in a chef jacket with him and his line cook. And it was just, and I literally wrote like, hey, like we're doing something, cooking something up, and on Instagram it went by storm. They was like, what? It was because it was different for everybody.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I've always made stuff on my Instagram as far as like my stories, but I never like pursued being a chef. I never took chef classes, culinary arts classes. Never took any of that. I just have friends that are chefs, and I have my mother that taught me when I was younger. And I just decided to finally do something with my boy City Chef. So shout out to City Chef, man. Thank you.
Shout out. Well, this is amazing because, like you just said, most people, they go to school, culinary arts, or they've been cooking for a minute, which I'm sure you have. But like this is awesome just to know like you can do it, make it from nothing. You don't have to just go out there and learn something. I mean, it's always gonna be a learning curve.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
Definitely, it sounds like you went from taking nothing, like just a simple internship, to turning it what it is today.
Yeah, and like tying back into what the first question you asked me as far as like what it is that I do, and that goes into that right there, and saying what you like, doing what you're saying as far as like people look at something so little and think it's little. You know what I'm saying? But an atom is little. An atom is one of the smallest particles in your body, right?
Right.
But look what it makes. If you split an atom, it makes a nuke. How big is a nuke? A nuke could take. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like you gotta see. I like to think things in different perspectives.
Definitely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And clearly I like to use metaphors. I like to just paint a different picture than what you're seeing after seeing the picture. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People say look inside the box. I look out the box, in the box, tear it up, rip it apart, see how it goes back together, see how I can make it into a triangle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just my way of thinking.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, most people, they get interviewed like in job interviews, and one of the major questions is like, oh, how do you handle like a tough situation? And I've said something similar. I don't just handle a problem like a regular problem. Like, why did the problem happen? where did it start? Why is it caused? Like a puzzle, like all sides of the board. So yeah, I can definitely side with that, and I'm sure many of our viewers could definitely side with that.
Yeah, it's because people think, like, when people get asked a question or are in a situation, they just go after what they're feeling and what they're thinking, but that's incorrect. You have to see what the situation is. Like
you're saying, don't think in the moment, like let it play off and see where it lands.
Well, yeah, don't think with emotion.
Emotion.
You know, and don't reply with emotion, because the minute you do that, you lose.
Yeah.
That person just got the better of you. And it goes, and that it's funny because that's something that I learned in sales. Like in the sales training, in customer service, but it ties in with the sales. What I mean is, if a customer comes to you because they got a bad product, are they mad at you or the product?
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not upset with you.
Yeah.
You just sold them the product. You were told that it was amazing. So if the product isn't good, they're mad at the product. So if they come at you, don't be upset. I'll be upset. Think of yourself as a consumer. You got a bad product. You paid $100 for it, and it's a piece of shit. And it's just like, damn, you got a piece of shit product. That was me. I'd be even there tossing this shit around, like, yo, what the hell's going on? That I paid all this money and this is terrible.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, and I definitely do agree with that, because like if you calling for like a bad bill, let's say Spectrum or something, you're already gonna start ranking at the rep, saying like, oh, you guys messed up, because that's a representation of the company.
Exactly.
But I hear what you're saying 110%, because it is the product, it's a service. You know,
exactly.
You can go out there looking for any type of service, but at the end of the day, you're paying for the product.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't blame the person that sold to you. It's just like, it's the product.
Yeah, I hear that.
So you gotta. The minute you answer with emotion, you're doing just that. Answer with emotion. If you're sad, you're gonna give a sad response. If you're mad, you're gonna get a mad response.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna get nothing done.
Yeah.
You're only gonna frustrate yourself, and you're gonna stay in that moment.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree with that. Can you tell the viewers about Motivational Mondays? That's something that I see that you started on your IG, and it's like a lot of people, like, I see the views growing, and I personally listen into it. So can you tell the viewers more about that?
So Motivational Mondays came about since there's another thing people may not know. I'm giving like all these inside scoops right here.
This is the jokes, guys. Stay tuned, man.
This is how you get stuff out of me. Get me on the camera. So when I was younger, I've been a passionate poet. So since the 3rd grade, I remember one of the first poems that I made. It's funny because she might even watch this because she follows me on Instagram. I wrote her a poem. Till this day, she has it in her crib right now with what I wrote to her. And I remember one of the lines was just like, "Oh, your smile's like the moon." I don't know, some shit like that. Because it says 3rd grade. So I've always been passionate. But I just love the art of words. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can literally do whatever you want, and it can mean whatever you want. You can make dark beautiful, in the sense of people think of an abyss and all that stuff. You can make something as dark as you may think that may be, and make it something so beautiful that can mean love.
Yeah.
And no one can tell you otherwise because it's your words.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Motivational Mondays, like I listen to it, and I see that if I'm going through something and someone can relate to me that I never met in my life, I'm like, damn, that means I can do it. Because they did it. They've been in worse situations. There's people in situations right now there's people that can't pay rent. There's people that can't do this, but they can stay in their home. But there's people that's outside living on the street with no coat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there's also people that, like, Steve Harvey is a perfect example, where Steve Harvey, if you don't know who Steve Harvey is, he's a comedian. He's world-renowned, Hall of Fame legend. He like slept in his car for like 3 months, 4 months. And look where he's at now. So if they can get through those circumstances in a different era where there was no social media, there was none of these things, that this phone can make you so much money if you learn how to use it. And the internet is free if you go to the library. You know what I'm saying? Like, it only makes sense for me to try to do the same thing, because I've been in those predicaments too and share my experiences as well.
You said something that what you're saying right now, you said it just recently in the Motivational Monday, and it was something that said, turn your weaknesses into strengths.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me right now.
Yeah, because
like when you hit that bottom, you're only gonna go up. Like, you already hit the bottom. Like, exactly. There's no other way but up.
Not only that, but a line I like to use is that I really love to use. That I say a line. There's a line that I can always remember, and I always switch it up when I say it because it always happens. Is your feet know the soul of the ground, right? In the sense of your feet know what the ground feels like. You know what I'm saying? But there's people that only know what the sole feels like, the sole of your sneaker. You know what I'm saying? So me knowing what that ground feels like, I've been there. I've been in situations where I couldn't. What I mean by that is,
like I definitely get
you know what I'm saying?
That was deep. That was
yeah.
deep.
So it's like I know what that ground feels like. I know like that this is like this is a lot to deal with, but my feet are still on the ground. The people that only know the soul can only know what's good. So the minute they fail, it's hard to come back up. But if you already know what the ground feels like, and you already know that shit, dude, I'm fucked up right now. If you stay in that, you lose. But if you understand what you're in and the situation that you're in, you can elevate. Knowledge is one of the most powerful things in this world, and it's free. That's the crazy thing. Like, people choose that if I'm on the ground, I'm gonna stay there. I'm sorry, but that's not me. And Motivational Mondays came through my realization of that I've been in such fucked up situations, and I've gotten myself out of them somehow, some way, and the correct way. I didn't go out there and start doing crazy shit. I didn't go out there and start robbing people. I didn't go out there and do none of that. I found out a way that I feel that I see works for me, and I expanded on it. And Motivational Monday is just me showing my truth and getting people to relate to me, because I feel like I'm very relatable, and I feel like people will listen to me for the simple fact is that they may think because of what they see I might have it all, and I'll be honest with you, I don't. But I'm content with that because I'm able to say that and be confident of it. So and it's a lot of people can't say that because they're scared of what people are gonna think. They're scared of what people are gonna say about them. They're scared about what society's norm is. The minute you realize that it's your right to not give a fuck, then it's the minute that you can soar into skies you've never been into.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Honestly, fuck everybody. Yeah. You have your own talent, and I said in one of them too. Greatness is within you. You know what I'm saying? If it's within you, then who the fuck is it to take it out of you?
Right.
Like, that's not some shit you could just take out. It's just some shit that you gotta expedite, like not expedite, exploit up. Nobody can take it out of you. You could bring it up.
Yeah, you gotta expand on it. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
I hear that.
And that's what that whole Motivational Monday came about. My love of poetry, my love of words, and my life experiences. I was like, I feel like I'm a relatable person, and I just use the market that I'm in, like the how can I say, like the audience I have now and the presence that I have now and the awareness people have of who I am and what I post to my advantage, and hopefully I'm able to help whoever needs it. And I've been told I'm a relatable person because I'm actually a nice guy, as big as I am.
Yeah, definitely. And by personally knowing him, yeah, definitely. This guy, he's making moves. So what he's saying, he's not just bullshitting for those who are viewing this. But yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else you want to tell the audience before we wrap it up, pretty much?
Don't be scared to be yourself. That, like, I know you hear that. I know, like, a lot of people hear that a lot. But it's just like, there's a lot of people that can even be famous, like, and all these things that are still not themselves, like that's still like struggling to figure out who they want to be, but they know already, but they're just so scared of other people's speculation of them that they choose to be someone else, that they're not meant to be. So if I'm gonna leave off with something, is shit, fuck everybody, be whoever the fuck you want to be. And leave it at that. If people are gonna ridicule you regardless. Fuck them. Like, Gary Vee makes a living on this shit, and he's himself. Yeah. People are like, yo, why do you curse so much? He's like, fuck you. This is how I speak. If people that are in your circle don't accept you for the person you truly want to be, then they can eat a bowl of dicks too. And that's just honesty. Because I told my friends exactly what I wanted to be, and exactly what happened was, some of them was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Other ones like, yo, keep doing it. But you know what happens now? The people that told me not to do what I'm doing, they're coming and paying for my events. They're coming and liking and commenting and sharing my stuff. And honestly, I still don't give a fuck. I'm still abrupt. I'm still me. I'm always gonna be myself. So that's what I want to leave with. Fuck everybody else and be yourself.
I like that. Well said, brother. Well, one more thing, let them know where they can contact you, reach you at, these events. You guys got to come to these events. It's Brunchoso, man, you don't want to miss it.
That's
one
a
is
fact.
coming up real soon, real soon. So tell the audience where they could catch you, like, you know, IG.
Okay, so my Instagram is the Yogi Bear, TheYogiBear. The is a word, by the way. A lot of people don't know that. The is a word. THEE. All right. It also means the, but it means the one and only. Shit like that. That's my Instagram. Also my event Instagram, which is Brunchoso. BRUNCHOSO is Brunchoso. Brunch is sabroso. Put together and mas sabroso. It's gonna be February 8th at Elite Williamsburg. So make sure you're there. Follow me on Instagram, and if you have any questions, I'm all ears. I answer DMs. All right. So if you need to talk, I don't care. I'll talk to whoever needs to be spoken to. Whoever's gonna take my words into consideration and develop from there.
Honestly, thank you so much, brother.
No worries,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Appreciate
And
it.
as you guys heard, thank you so much for tuning into the room. Once again, I am your host, Kid Classic. And like he said, I'm open to DMs as well. If you guys have any questions, stay tuned for more. Thank
And
you.
he's a dope rapper.